So let me call the,
I think it'll start to record it just
the
one.
meeting to order at 7:01. And let me welcome Al McQuarrie, is that your last name? Sitting in from Michelle. So it'd be nice, and, there we go. This is the first time I can remember not having Michelle sitting here taking minutes. But it's very great. In any event, I haven't heard from David Kelsey. Does anybody know?
How many copies? I
What?
can go run copies.
I think he's out of town, somebody said.
Okay.
They're all seem to have them.
Oh, everybody has? Did everybody need a-
And I didn't get it.
It's okay. She sent it, right?
I sent one email.
Yeah, I already reviewed it.
Okay, I'll just look.
I just need.
Yeah, I'm good. Okay,
So that having.
I have very little battery, so I might have to give you dial the video.
Let me request a nomination of one of our alternates to sit in David's place.
I'm gonna canvas.
That's you.
It is.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed, say nay. Any abstentions? And this year, David tonight. So the first thing is the approval of the August 12 minutes. You know, if you didn't get them in the mail, and you don't have copies here, is there anybody who hasn't had a chance to review the August 12 minutes?
She said, no. So I have to read it.
Or I guess what I'm asking is, does anyone want to postpone this vote because you haven't had a chance? Alrighty, then I'll entertain a motion to approve them.
So that we approve the minutes from August 12th.
Second that. Second. And then any discussion, any comments, any changes? Then I'll call for a vote, all in favor of approving the minutes as drafted, say aye. Aye. And the opposed, say nay. And the abstentions,
My,
so we have, Ellen, two abstentions, Andy, and on motion. Well, that could be used for abstention. I think that's why you're abstaining.
Yes.
Okay. Then let's go to the financial reports. And do you have any comments, any introductory comments you want to make about the financial reports?
I put a couple, and basically we're pretty much sitting as the same as last year at this time. It was just like slightly higher, or better. But really there's not anything substantial. Then I made a couple notes with the revenue. I believe it was the revenue for tax was lower this year over last year, but overall we're up. But percentage wise, we're again about the same.
So I looked through them and nothing caught my eye, and we're only 2 months into the fiscal year. And, none of the expenditures seem oddly excessive. I had one question though, the board, the building department contracted services of $22,000 for Golden State. I just don't remember what that is.
OpenGov is their permitting software for the year.
Okay,
To pay it once,
yeah,
one and done.
okay. That was my only question. Anybody else have any questions or comments?
and this has been here for years, just for some reason noticed at this time in our capital project funds. In the townwide building improvement fund and a public building improvement fund.
Correct.
What's the difference?
Town hall here, public buildings, everything else. I guess.
No, it's because it's town-wide, really.
Yeah, it's
It's
townwide, not town hall.
one of them per state statute under the town clerk.
Okay,
It's the public gets a small percentage
okay.
that goes in that one, and you can use it for improvements
Okay,
And the other one, you're supposedly using it for a capital expenditure.
okay.
That they could be consolidated, I guess, but one's considered a special revenue, the other one's considered capital.
But they both should go to capital.
No, the money that she gets goes in her special revenue.
The capital project funds.
Yeah, but the one that the town clerk gets, it's something that goes into the public building.
Okay,
And it's a couple $100 a month, is that?
I see.
Okay, so if there are no further questions on the reports, and you sent
Oh,
us,
no, we have lots more reports.
say what?
We have lots more reports to go through. We have a couple more.
Well, you can take the lead. I was just asking generically whether anybody had any questions.
Oh, isn't that all?
No, that's just the next thing on the agenda.
Sorry, I don't have to do this in the
It's
office.
okay. It-
Sorry.
It's just the reports from the month.
Okay,
We
sorry.
sent.
Yeah, go ahead.
It's on the land use, the engineer planning.
Engineering,
That is on page 6.
I can find out.
There was a $3,400 expenditure for planning, working engineering planning. And there's like, that was, we just talked about that in here, that Eric said we pay it this time. I'm gonna go like stuff shop before that.
3,400% and get 50,000.
Right. Yeah,
Wasn't it when the housing commissions came and they had a bill, but then Eric said he was going to pay it for this round? And it wasn't, but like the next time it would have to be housing that paid for it.
right, because affordable housing didn't have an account for that expense. So he paid it under plan.
So it's just kind of like a temporary, it will be,
Next year, affordable housing, because this is, I believe this is the McCullough properties and the division of the two in the building lots. So,
if it's the correct, if it's the one that I remember. Because I remember talking to you about that
Right.
paying it.
so they're paying it this time because it's the town, we're turning it over to the town. I mean, from the town to, it was Habitat, but now I think it's Hope and Habitat are working out of it right now.
So you're saying they're paying it this year, so.
They're paying it this time, and the next time, if we ever get to a situation where we have to divide and conquer the land again, affordable housing will have to build that into their. They didn't want it to be.
So they didn't foresee that this was coming, but I wasn't included in there, but.
Alan might have more, why it wasn't included, it wasn't,
I don't know exactly the reason, but it had to go over to the town engineer for approval.
Yeah.
And
That-
they sent the bill to the planning commission. And so then when I received it, I didn't realize the difference of it. Eric then told me that there was a difference between this is what affordable housing should pay. He said, we'll pay it this time, but next time, affordable housing, like they say, it'll come out of there.
they would have to have it in there.
So they would have to foresee that expense during budgets.
Not what, it's for this one particular project.
Right.
Rarely, I don't think that we'll probably do this again for a while.
Right.
Okay, it's just a bit, it's gonna have to do that. This particular line is happy.
And they look at his, what he has used in the past.
Well, if we budgeted 5,500, they don't get 2,000.
Well, he must be pretty secure in that.
Okay, and no further questions on the financial reports. The next item is transfer department appropriation. Your stuff, I mean,
Yes, that's the one. I'm sorry. I found my agenda. So part of the attachments that I did send you is when we did the first transfer, when we did the appropriation transfers, we did not include the 26,100 that is transferring to another fund for the police car. That is for the police car,
Yeah.
it's this,
Well, then that's my lines on it.
yes, and you go all the way on the bottom, there's 26-1 in that corner. We approved the 1,000,046, but we never approved the 26-1 to go into Fund 7, because that's where we're paying the police car.
Which one are we doing, working on?
This one,
These are the two.
Okay.
that should be appropriation.
Yeah, but.
Yeah, just as a process standpoint, if we can put like page numbers or some identifying mark on some of these that are just like random.
Did you send it out in the mail?
Yes, it's under appropriation. It's a appropriation.
I've got expenditure, revenue, carryover, transfers, over requests, SF monthly, and CPF monthly.
I didn't hear
Over request.
the which sheet, I printed this off.
It's under the carryover. You can see it because we're all separate and they don't have enough.
It's like that. Is it?
Right here, so there, this one. This one. And
But ours look different.
you can be our package, yes. It's a different. 26-1 right there.
Okay. Thank you.
You have the, probably the one that's highlighted.
Okay. It doesn't say 26-1.
Oh, go on, but only the last one, of carryover.
Yep.
That's what happened when.
Why don't you look at this version?
Oh, yeah, no,
we can share.
have that one. That's the other one, sorry, that's the other one.
I know, I don't think this one made it into our, that's fine.
So this is a transfer within a department and you just need our approval.
What it was is the appropriations for last year, this is for last fiscal year. We, did a carryover for the 1,406,4786. We did not do the transfer of 26,100. Because that transfer is going into Fund 7, because this year we're paying the police car out of Fund 7, or police private duty. There was enough money in there to pay, and this was the other money together will pay for their new car.
And my question is whether this is a transfer within a department that's permissible, even though it's over $20,000.
Some one capital.
It's going from one capital to another special fund.
Okay,
So we've done that
I'm
before.
fine with
It's
it.
not that kind of transfer, it's an appropriation. We're just moving the money, to be used, instead of doing it to the carryover account,
Yeah,
we're putting it into one of the funds.
you need a motion?
Yes,
This Fund 7.
please private duty, yeah.
Second column, that bit.
Oh, there, okay.
And down underneath the 80,000, there's number 7. If you go down, about the third one down, number 7 is there.
Oh, God, yes.
And how about you do these in color, might think?
That we move $26,100.
Yeah.
Or transfer $26,100 to Fund 7, police private duty fund.
But it's all not on there.
Was that
Is it all in there?
the 26-1?
26-1.
Yes, so it's the 25,000 and 1,100 were the accessories.
So where's it coming from?
Okay, so.
It's coming from capital, or capital, one of the capital accounts that was in, last year, but
I guess that would be more specific that we transfer from the capital. So it's going to Fund 7.
in fiscal year 24-25,
To fund number 7.
it's last fiscal year.
Okay, the capital fund from fiscal year 24-25 into Fund 7. The
Police private duty.
fund.
I'll second that, but I wanted clarification on, so do we have to adjust our total carryover amount to do that, or are we good?
We're good, as long as
Okay.
we just do it. When we said the total amount, it wasn't included.
Okay, so the motion was made by Kim, seconded by Matt. Any discussion? Call for a vote, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say nay. Any abstentions, motion carried. Thank you, Lenita.
Nope, now we have to do the other transfers. This is to close out last fiscal year. To close out last fiscal year, we have to take all the accounts that are departments that are in the negative and transfer between different departments.
Okay,
This is this page.
It's the same thing?
No. What does it say? Is it called budget actions needed?
Yes, budget action needed.
June 30th at the top.
Here, you want this? Should have another.
I don't think you vote on the first one, it's board planning. We know the budget.
Where's the Did we find it? Sorry.
Think about our budget? Costs like $500.
so you can have that.
Oh, that's.
Okay, that's my answer. Town meeting.
So basically, the changes that I'm the 15,875 is within departments. So it's gonna come, if you look on the bottom, the money is gonna come out of the insurance line. We had extra money there and it will fund the 15,875. And then will be the transfers that will happen. The other column has to go out to a town meeting. It's for the transfer station. And that one will be for 28. And 555. They went over because that's over 20, we have to go to a town meeting.
Let me ask about that. There's a statute, a state statute that is ambiguous. It
That's
just says,
what I said to you, yeah.
well, it just says at the end of the year, you can move an appropriation around. And when I Googled it, it seemed to me that one town addressed that statute and said it has to be within the same department. And another town said, no, it doesn't. Did you ever have occasion to ask Councilman Carroll about that?
I have not, because you didn't ask me to, but if you wanted my common sense approach, it's like you have the money. I don't understand why it has to go to a town meeting.
I agree. So I like making notes. Well, I'll send you an email that I sent to Anita.
Sure.
That has a copy of the statute. And ask the Jack or whomever, to see if there's any guidance on
I
it.
mean, we have done it in the past. That's what we have done.
But over 20 in terms with town.
That's what I'm
Yeah,
saying. We've done it, but gone to a town meeting, but it seems a little overkill.
Well, it's been, the other thing is it's been $20,000 forever.
Yeah.
I think there should be something at the state level that would change that number to 50.
And
Giving more
it's-
financial ability to.
Right.
Because everything's gotten more expensive. I've been here 22 years and it was 20 then. And it was probably 20,000, 20 years before that.
And the inflation.
Yeah.
Let me just read it. It's just one sentence. Section 7348 has a $20,000 limitation. Section 7347 reads as follows: may transfer unexpended balances. The board may transfer unexpended balances from one appropriation to another, but no amount appropriated for any purpose, whether general or special, shall be used or appropriated for any other purpose unless the same is recommended by the board. So it's a separate period. It's this separate and apart from the 20,000, and that's just why I raised the question. What does it mean? So,
As most lawyers will tell you, it's up for interpretation and how you interpret
yeah,
it.
but I mean, I understand that we've gone to a town meeting in the past, and I also agree with you that it seems a pretty innocuous thing. We got to pay. we gotta pay it, and if another department has the money, in any event, I would just like to.
And their revenue offset.
Oh, yes, yes, they were over the revenue. Yeah, they're over on their revenue.
Vote on that.
Yeah.
Um,
So
So for tonight, though, tonight, yeah,
15,875.
yeah.
Yeah.
Sure.
Do we have to do it by line or can we just do the total
Total.
amount? Okay. So I'd make a motion, we transfer $15,875 from insurance to the general fund for the miscellaneous accounts that we have listed there. That's sufficient for the
Second.
motion.
Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say nay. Any abstentions? So that passes. So we brought that to 15,875 and we'll leave the 28,550 across the meeting.
Thank you.
Okay, there's a request from the I, from the police, it's your laptop.
I have that. You can pass this out. This is from Tom. You can copy it and just go around this. Thank you. The board selectmen approved this on 9/8/2025. But basically, when we were doing the upgrade to Windows 11, there were 4 laptops at the police station that were forgotten. 3 of those laptops would have to go to the state police to be loaded with their software. And the other one would just be used for town email and other work that they can do that isn't requiring the state. So basically, 4 PCs will need to be purchased and configured for the Ojai Police Department at a cost of approximately $5,000, but not to go over. I also want you to know that I had a meeting with the state police about something else and mentioned this, and one of the lieutenant colonels said, we might be able to do that for you. So I just emailed him again tonight. I met with him around September 4th. He hasn't gotten back to me, so I just said, can you give me an update? So if they'll pay for them, that's great. But if not, we have the money. As Anita said, there's sufficient money to cover this, but we just want you to be aware. And I told the same information to the Board of Selectmen. So we made the motion to send it to you for approval. If we get the money or the laptops from the state police, great. And if not, we need to buy them and get them updated by.
And this would be the IT fund, the 25.
So we're just voting to approve the expenditure from the fund for an item that haven't already been approved.
Correct.
I'll make a motion to purchase the 4 PCs needed for the Old Line Police Department for no more than $5,000.
Any discussion? Approval, all in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed, say nay. Any abstentions? That passes. So we'll roll a little on. Madam Select Woman.
No, you have another one. There should be another one in there, right?
Nope.
It wasn't on the agenda.
It did make nothing.
We told her to put it on there. I sent her, I gave her.
Well, we can add something to the agenda. Tell us what it is.
Jay Rivera is on. There's a request that again was approved by the Board of Selectmen on 9/12. We had a special meeting for this. I'll pass this around. And Dave is online. But basically what it comes down to, normally the 120,000 that we got, they on July 1st notified us that they were taking some cuts out of that. And for special projects, it went down to 40,000. And therefore, Jay needs to move the transfer. And he and Anita have sat down and worked this out. I don't exactly follow all of the logic, but it works and it's legit. So
One of the things, Dave's online, but that he can jump in if he's not feeling too well tonight, but, if it comes down to it, I mean, we get down to the end of the project, and if we don't have enough money to fund all the furniture, we're just gonna have to wait till July first and put it in then. I mean, that's what I said, we can do with some folding tables for a couple of months, if that need be. So we'll see where that goes, but. Dave's on. Dave, do you wanna jump in? Or-
Good evening.
Dave, don't talk. Sorry, we have to answer the agenda.
Right, so let me have a motion to add a discussion about the vote of a funding transfer regarding the EOC expansion project to the agenda.
So
On the moves in seconds, any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed say nay. Any abstentions? Okay. Let's add this as number 6 to the agenda. Dave, you have the floor.
Thank you, BJ. First off, good evening, everybody. I'm sorry I'm not there in person, but I've been dealing with some sickness here in the house, though you all look very photogenic on camera. As I identified in the memo that I met with the Board of Selectmen, originally we submitted in our budgets a hypothetical 120,000 part of the EOC project that would be funded through Millstone for furniture, fixtures, and equipment. You approved that line item during the budget season, and then in July, when the allocations were sent out by Millstone, they looked at the 120 special project requests that I put in, and they suggested that they're going to only fund 40,000 this year under the premise of I can come back and reapply and resubmit and spread it out over 3 years. They felt this was amicable because we already received the congressional discretionary grant for the majority of the construction. So based on that, also on the existing line that we used to have for Millstone related reimbursable expenses, somehow there was a miscommunication between myself and the Board of Finance when we were going through budget seasons, asking if I still needed that line item. At that point in time, I thought you were speaking about the EOC project, so I inadvertently said no. This year's budget approval from Millstone or from the state Millstone was $200 and change. As you can see with the submittals that I put in and that got approved, 43,200 was approved by the state for my exercises, training, and equipment and maintenance, along with only 40,000 for the special project. Based on this, I'm asking to ask for a transfer of the approved 43,254 that is currently in the expansion project to an operating operating line so I can take care of my routine annual expenses. Doesn't cost any more money. It's just going to delay some of the furniture and fixture purchases this year for the project. Now, the project is moving along very good. We're at almost 80%, give or take, of completion. And with the general contractor, they anticipate being done at significant completion and punch list items by the end of the month or early October. My schedule on that, once they're finished in the space, we're going to start coming in and doing electronics and computers and data wiring, which is being funded by the ARPA grant that we had previously approved and earmarked $50,000 for. Upon that completion, I would only have the remaining $40,000 to purchase the rest of the furniture, fixtures and equipment. And on that, we've already purchased a large expense of a high-speed copier. So that is not on my list, but it will, instead of buying 12 tables or 14 tables, I may turn around and end up buying 6 or 8 at the time. We can adapt, overcome, and improvise if needed to fully outfit that with furniture from other sources, but I'm confident that when next year's Millstone budget goes in, I'll be able to be approved for an additional $40,000 for more capital project work on that project.
Can this just came into my mind, but who are you purchasing your furniture from?
Uline. They're
Okay.
we've done some cost comparing back and forth, and I found that Uline does offer the best price for what I'm looking at.
Okay, well, for the entire senior center project, we spent about 68. And that was upholstered furniture, tables, chairs, the flip top tables for feeding, for maneuvering around. And maybe Uline isn't your best source. So maybe we could look at another source and see if we could beat your prices.
I believe the comment, I believe the concern tonight is to get approval to transfer out 43,200. So I can continue to pay my operating expenses.
I understand that, Dave. I'm just asking if we could look at it again.
I have a question. So we're moving $43,200 from one part of the budget that was approved as a part of our budget process last year. And you're saying it's not gonna be a problem, but what was the original plan for that $43,200? That's a lot of money to lose from some other line item.
That was the one that they're not funding him this year. They're not funding, we have 120,000 in the EOC expansion line. They are only funding him 40,000 in that line. So the other 80,000, so he's asking that 43,200 gets transferred to his emergency. We made a line within his department that's just for Millstone instead of putting it in capital, so no confusion down the road.
In the past, we've had a line item for Millstone reimbursable, and we maintained a $120,000 value to it year after year, under the premise that I would never spend more than what I got authorized for. And I believe some of the senior members of the board can attest to that through my tenure here.
Well,
Somehow,
Dave, I've been here for 4 years and I know we go back and forth on this a lot. And there's always a lot of confusion over reimbursable expenses and exactly where that account was used from. So I guess my understanding that I'm getting from this today is that it serves as a sort of savings account. But I'm still really uncertain. I mean, it's been 4 years of experience.
Basically, the 120 that is as an expense, we also show it as a revenue side. So it's a wash. So basically, this year, he's only gonna get 83. So of that 120, he knows that he can't spend the 36,799. That is definitely cannot spend that. 40,000 of that balance can be spent for the EOC and already has, and it's in the financials. And no more can be spent from that. So then from there, the remaining 8, we're gonna take 43, move it to his other line, so that it's still giving him 83, and he will not spend the 36,799.
So we can pay his people.
So it's that 43,200 impacts training, equipment, exercises, training, and equipment for those exercises.
Correct.
So you'd be wiping that out and would not be able to do any training that's required, right?
correct.
What-
And also,
transfer
it
your
would,
money into that so he can actually do the training. I think that's the
And
intent.
it's not, the account would go into the negative.
Can pay the bills from the training here.
Where's the 36 number?
The 36 would be the balance left.
Difference between the 120 and
And
the
the 80 that he got.
43.
And then 83.
Yeah, okay. That's not.
So I do have a letter that does state that they will reimburse us for the 83,254. We do have a letter stating that that is reimbursable and they will reimburse us up to that dollar amount for this fiscal year.
So did we get rid of the line for training and exercise expenses and equipment maintenance and expendable items, or did we just not fund?
We did not fund it. That was what Dave was saying was the confusion because he had 120,000 in the budget twice. And we asked, do you need the 120? Do you need 240 or 120? He said, we need 120. He forgot the other 120, which he would have put
That was
into
43.
40, but we would have gotten 83,000. And he wouldn't have been able to spend the other 106.
And they didn't notify us until July. I mean,
Yeah.
they wrote.
So we're moving money from this line to this line.
Correct.
Right.
And yes, so future, no confusion, I created a line within the emergency management budget that is just for Millstone. That is why there's a different account number. It's the 0120505000020. I put it, it's the right in his budget, and we know it's exactly, it's titled EM Other Millstone NSEF reimbursement.
Anita, I want to go back to something Martha asked about. Do we have a policy? Let's say I'm buying, whoever I am, I'm buying $40,000 worth of furniture. Do we have like a multiple bid policy where we have to
Yes.
see like three
Yes,
or
we
more
do.
bids?
Yes, we do.
And so do we have that for this,
Should be. Should be.
this
should be.
$40,000?
You should be following town rules, yes.
But I would think you would see that as the
I
finance
don't see
director.
it, he purchased it prior to coming to me. I only see billing on the other end.
To demonstrate what the bids were.
Yeah, so I guess my question is, who sees the bids?
You didn't bid,
He
correct?
never bid.
I mean, you did for, it was, it was a design build for Newfield. We're talking about furniture. I don't think anything has been committed to furniture yet. Has it, Dave?
No, no. No, it has not.
So there's still time.
And yeah, bids normally go through the selectmen's office.
I feel like there should be some threshold where it's like, you know, if you're buying.
There is.
20,000.
20,000.
Yeah, but like I don't feel like
It
that.
shouldn't get paid.
Yeah, I feel like there needs a little more rigor around it, rather than like, oh, nobody really sees the bids. We just, yeah, we got it, we're good.
The operating reasoning, the operating rules for this grant did not require multiple bids.
But our town does.
Does.
So you work for the town, Dave.
But did the design build contract include the furniture?
No, no, design build is when the architect and the builder, the
Just for
construction,
the.
just as we did for senior center, which worked extremely well and did save us an abundance of money.
So they're just using the line number. for the
They just need,
budgeting.
he's thought, I mean, he has to sit down with me when Katie and I can prepare a bid package and it can go out. And sometimes Uline will even come back with better prices if they know that we're bidding out.
Right.
So we're gonna go through the bid process, Dave, so plan on a meeting and we'll sit down and figure out what it is you need. And then we'll figure out what we can actually buy with your $40,000.
So I guess maybe this is an appropriate time to send an email. asking
I
for
have it.
financial.
I do have,
I would be, at this point, I'd be reluctant to approve additional funds towards this
it's
because,
not additional funds though.
I'd like to see how the project is tracking financially, because the
Here's what I-
monies might be,
So they have a meeting on
okay,
Thursday. I can tell you briefly.
okay,
Construction's at 81%. It's on track. Builders contingencies at 46% spent. They have 54% left in their contingency.
and how much is that in dollars?
I don't have, Eric provided me with all the percentages. Dave, do you happen to know what the builder's contingency was off the top of your head?
Off the top of my head, no, but I could probably look it up.
Was it 10%? I don't remember.
I thought it was more, a little more.
Yeah, that's what I mean, it's.
I can text Eric. He would know, but owner's
Yeah, I
contingent,
know I asked
The own-
yesterday. and it's-
I'm sorry, the owner's contingency is at 22%. We have 78% left. The substantial construction completion is, should be done on October 1st. And, then they would put in the fixtures and the furniture during the month of October, hoping for an opening by November 1st. And they have their next meeting on Thursday at 5 o'clock. If you'd like to go, it's a beautiful facility. Please stop by.
It's a major project
Yes,
and, maybe we can get the furniture we need within project funds as they are now without pulling this money out of the emergency, the millstone one. Even though part of it is,
Well, but wasn't this millstone money earmarked? Some of this was earmarked for
for
the project.
exercises.
what it was, that's
We're
what it's saying.
keeping, but we're keeping that, Andy. The 40,000 would have had more, but
It's already been spent. It's the 43.2 that we're talking about, right?
the 40 hasn't been spent.
To that, it's in that line, but they said, no, we can't use it for that purpose. We have to use it for another purpose,
Training.
otherwise we won't get the money.
So basically,
So that's why we're. moving it.
Millstone is just telling us you can only use 43 for training and you can only use 40 for their project. That's it. And they dumbed down the project cost because of the fact that we got so much from Murphy's grant.
So what's the $40,000 expenditure against the line item?
It's coming. All right, it's currently.
Just-
the-
Can I,
Oh, yeah.
I'm gonna just try this really easy. We thought we were getting 120. We're not, we're getting 83. So instead of putting all 83 into the EOC project, we're gonna keep 40 there. We just want to take the 43 and move it over to training so that he can put that in the line item. And when he pays his bills, he gets reimbursed by Millstone for the 43,000 out of the training account.
Okay.
Because they won't,
So that's what we're doing.
Okay.
Leaving the training.
so we're not asking for any money. We're just asking to split it into 2 accounts.
So we're moving the 43,254 cents from emergency management, EOC expansion into
We're gonna round it either to
Training.
201 or 200. No sense.
No sense.
200.
Mm.
And what's the new account?
The new account is, it's on the bottom of the paper. It's the 01-205-00-0020-0020. Emergency Management Other Millstone NSEF reimbursement.
And that's gonna be a regular routine.
Gonna show up in the budget every year.
It's gonna be in budget. So that just being a fund that isn't tracked. Will be.
Right, instead of just being the capital line, it will be part of.
And it's better for his reimbursements too, because it's clearly delineated in his reimbursements.
Okay.
So it's moving from capital to operating.
Operating.
Yes, correct.
I make a motion that we move $43,200 from the EOC capital account to the new emergency management other Millstone and SEF reimbursement line in the operating. Also in the budget.
Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say nay. Any abstentions? Motion passes.
Thank you all.
Now, not to,
Thanks, Eric.
even, I know, not to, but again, this is. Do we, to do an appropriation transfer, which rules do we follow? Are we following the $100,000.
Is this in the same department?
It's going from capital into emergency
In
management.
the same department?
It's emergency, yes, emergency
I
management.
mean, I'm happy for you to talk to our auditors, or for you to talk to Sussman
Okay,
Shapiro, but for the moment, I think it's okay, since it's within the same department.
okay, thank you.
Can we fix it if it isn't?
Right,
Correct.
There's still time.
okay. Anita, do you have anything else?
No, I think that was enough.
So, Martha, any other? Travis?
Sure. Angie, I'm sorry, I didn't even want the actual financial figures, but I will tell you the first reimbursement went in for about 500,000, correct? Dave might have gotten off. Dave, you're still there. Didn't we send in
Yeah.
a reimbursement?
Yes.
Yes.
To date, we spent approximately 734,000. And I've submitted a reimbursement request of 554,000. Which we anticipate coming back hopefully by the end of the year, under the calendar year.
That's great. Thank you, but I'm just looking at the total project,
I'll get it for you.
you know,
I'll send it to you in an email. They'll have an updated one on the 18th, so Eric will be preparing that report. And I'll make sure that he sends it to you.
And that, to Andy's point, given that the contingencies, this would probably be the owner's contingency, are only partially spent. We may well have $40,000 within the budget already.
to take care of the
Approved.
figures.
Maybe,
But
but we still will go out to bid and see if we can get a better price.
absolutely.
Okay. So do you want the rest of my report?
Yes, please.
I'll go fast. Senior Center Building Final Report, Jerry Baker and Alan Shyness are working on the final report. We had one other computer that had to be upgraded to Windows 11. It was the check-in computer as you walk in. And that was completed in August for $2,319. And once that bill's approved and paid by both towns, we'll be able to do the final report. Grassy Hill Bridge easement letters have been sent to the necessary homeowners. We know that they've all received them because we received the certified mail back. The project binder has been reviewed by Kerma and also the town attorney. Howard Frommer from Nathan Jacobson has made those updated changes to the binder based on their feedback and their requirements. And once the easements are in place, we will plan to go out to bid on that project as well, with hopefully a start date of June of 2026. The White Sand Beach gazebo, we're waiting for the bid documents for some sound engineering. Once we have those, we go out to bid on that. Lime Street Firehouse paving, the bidding process has begun on that. Eric Olson did a walkthrough this week with some prospective bidders. We only had one attend, but others have called him for some information. And Eric also has met with Ron Turner from Region 18 to discuss the fire department's needs for exits and entrances while that project's going on, because that's going to interfere with the middle school and things like that. So we're just making Ron and Region 18 aware. We do have some new hires that you should be aware about. Rachel Peterson will be joining the town hall staff as our waste and recycling coordinator. She has met with the waste and recycling committee last week to review the projects they want her to begin working on. She should be beginning on Friday. She's leaving her job at Deep for summer internship or summer job at Deep on Thursday. Elena Jalbert has joined our team. She's the intern from the Yukon program, master's program, and she's begun work on creating an outline policy manual, collecting all the policies throughout the various departments. She's working Tuesday through Thursday, 15 hours per week until May. And she's made contact with various department heads to discuss their departmental needs, to find the policies that they have maybe thrown in a folder, things like that. We're trying to put them all together in one policy book with tabs so that everybody can find them easily and come up. And then we'll also put it online for use within the, one of those will be the bidding policy. We have made offers to 3 new recording clerks for our boards and commissions. One has accepted and we're waiting to hear from the other 2 individuals. This will fill a need for our boards and commissions of people who have retired from being a clerk. Also, the Old Line Visiting Nurses Association has almost completed their hiring process for a town nurse. I believe their executive committee is hoping to finalize that process by the beginning of October. The first round of interviews took place for our new land use technician because he had to replace Fallon. And I believe the next round of interviews is being discussed. We're also in the process of finalizing our next candidate for the police academy, and that decision should be made by the end of the week. We had a resignation. Jill Karenberg, who is our human resources generalist, has resigned effective September 26th. Jill will be teaching at Eastern Connecticut State University and also New London Adult Ed for the time being while pursuing her PhD. And her position has been posted. As you know, the sewer project in Soundview is being discussed very much so. I find it very difficult to go out to say to people and on the Board of Selectmen to read. The numbers are a little all over the place. We're getting information from various people that they're off. So we hired an outside accountant that was recommended to us by Rivertalk, Sam Gold, to look at all the information and put together his analysis. He said it will take him about 24 hours to do so, but he has met with Steve and Jim and I individually today just to say what our concerns are and how to pull it together. So he's got a pretty good handle on it. When he left today after 2.5 hours with us, he has a pretty good handle on what he needs to do. And he will provide us with his analysis of what we should or should not include. And if we're not disputing the bids, but we are not disputing, but concerned about the operations and maintenance and other costs that are sort of there, the individual users. I find it very difficult to go out to say, we have to go to a referendum for $7.5 million more to residents in this town and not be able to tell them what the cost is going to be for the end users. A very definitive, strong estimate. And when you have variations of anywhere from $500 to $1,500 in differences, I don't find that comforting.
So Martha, is the question about the construction costs per se, or is it like the ongoing maintenance, like you're gonna have to pay, each year this much, or is it, all of it? Is he looking at the whole thing?
It's operations and maintenance contingency. Our WPCA put in a 5% contingency. The other beach associations have put in between 8 and 14% contingency. So the residents in Soundview are concerned. They're like, how do you know? I mean, Steve feels very strongly that he thinks 5% is enough for that type of area, but you just don't know. And that's what they're concerned about. Look, when I did the parking lot in Soundview last year, I got a phone call, there was a river underneath it. Did I know? And, we pulled up an old manhole cover that was underneath the millings, and sure enough, there it is running around, and I'm sure it's not a river, but it could be a brook, stream, whatever, but it was going pretty good. So we don't know what you're going to hit when you dig down there. So it's the contingencies of concern, operations and maintenance. A lot of the calculations were based on what Point of Woods is paying. But there's an emergency fund for repairs, may or may not be enough. And even though they're saying it's a brand new system, it shouldn't have any repairs. We all know that we've put things in our house that shouldn't need a repair, and sometimes it does. So we'll have a better number, and just so you know, Old Lyme Shores has gone out to bid. I think their bids are due in October 9th. Miami is received bids that are $4 to $5 million more than what they anticipated. They may or may not have to go back out to a referendum themselves for additional funding. And Old Colony seems all set.
It seems like part of the ongoing expense could be New London Sands, Waterford Sands, and East Lyme Sands. If they have a pump station go, they may come back to the user chair and say, hey, you have to pay X percentage to fix our pump station that's not doing it here.
And there is some language in the IMAs, and the accountant also has that to take into consideration. I highlighted those areas for him as well.
If there's something out in London possibly looking at expanding the capacity.
That was because East Lyme requested it, but now East Lyme has put on a moratorium. So I think they're gonna be okay for a few years. They're gonna finish 95 by the exit 75, see what happens. So, and I certainly didn't want any type of litigation coming back against the town that you sent out to a referendum and said it's gonna cost us this, and then taxpayers came back and said it's not costing me $2,000 a year, it's costing me $9,000. I mean, they have to have, and I will say that there are people down there. In fact, I just got the Alice report of the number of households in Old Lyme that earn less than the median income, not the median income, but the median suggested salary structures for this state. And it just came in today, but we're at like 21% of our town. So we need, and many of those people live in that area. So we,
This Eastern Connecticut area.
no, Old Lyme.
I know, but from my work on the Y, I've learned that in general, Eastern Connecticut is perceived as being a lot wealthier than it is. And so that from fundraising perspective and from grant proposals, it's uphill because there's a perception. So we lean heavily into the Alice reports.
Just came up to that for next this current year. So anyway,
You said Miami Beach may have to go to referendum. Would that be a referendum within Miami Beach?
yes,
Okay.
so that's the other thing. This is, I mean, I didn't start this, but because it's an end user agreement, basically the Soundview people, each individual quasi municipality for the 3 private beaches of Colony, Old Lyme Shores, and Miami get to vote on their own individual referendums. When it comes to the Soundview one, the entire town gets to vote on it, including the residents that live in Old Lyme Shores, Old Colony, and Miami, because they are also residents of the town of Old Lyme. So
That's kind of bizarre.
it does seem a little odd to me, but these are laws that are on the books, I guess, and this is the way it was done.
Yeah, but I think it's also, it's convoluted because
But it's not their tax,
theoretically,
because it's end user. It's end user.
theoretically, the end users pay all the costs, right? Unless the affordability threshold is breached. So basically, the town has to authorize a bond, the upfront costs of construction, but that bond will be amortized with user fees over time. You know what I mean? So when the taxpayers are voting, they're voting to authorize borrowing that's supposed to be paid back in essence.
One of the engineers was talking.
It's all gonna be done through clean water funds, which is going to be managed by this point from current CSA, and they're working on the new one. By Old Colony. And the CSA cost sharing agreement would stay in place until the project is over and it's flowing. But. So the $15 million refund, forgivable loan. And then the rest of it, clean water funds at 2.5 or 2.3% interest. Will also be given out. And those individuals would pay back. But how we formulate that. So there's been a lot of discussion at CSAs, but also our bonding attorney and our town attorney both did not feel comfortable with the current CSA to go to a referendum with it in the state it is. There is no indemnification for the town of Old Lyme. And our bonding attorney said, you are not to sign anything until that is included. So we'll wait and see. Jim Lampos is really the ex officio on this because Jim is a resident, but he's also extremely knowledgeable of this project since the very beginning. So he was the best candidate to go forward to look into it.
Well, I'm assuming you have not received a response from the DEP to the letter that you sent them advising them that we can't go to the referendum.
I did hear back from the deputy commissioner. She said she received my email and she would be in touch with me this week. I sent her a letter. I said, there is no way that the rumors that she may have heard that we're trying to not move this forward. I said, are untrue. I sent her a timeline of everything that we have done since June of 2024 to move this project forward. And I think it was pretty clear that in our meeting with the WPCA in, I believe it was January of 2025, we said there were 3 things that had to be done: the CSA, the sewer ordinance, and the cost.
So hopefully she'll respond by saying, let's have a meeting.
I don't think she needs to have a meeting. I mean, she hasn't, her email to me was you risk losing the $15 million. I don't think that would be extremely wise on their part, considering the fact that if they take away 15 million, it becomes pretty much unaffordable for all 4 municipalities. Not just us.
But ideally, we'll make peace with the DEP on the process going forward.
Yeah, I don't
So
feel,
they stop threatening us and we have reason.
I wouldn't say, I think the word threat, I think was a little strong, and I think it was used. I just don't feel that I was threatened, but I was notified strongly that, let's put it that way, that, hey, you could be hindering this. But I tried to explain to her in no uncertain terms of every single meeting, every single thing that we have done, every email that's transpired about CSAs, et cetera, and meetings to her. And we have backup to all of those things on the timeline. So I have it.
Thank you. Anything else?
No.
But let me to end on I think a positive note. How are things going at the senior center?
Oh, I was there today. They did their memorial brick presentation
Yeah,
for some of their members who have passed, and it was very nice. And the people who spoke about their loved ones all talked about how much they loved the center, the old one, but how wonderful they think it would be to see the new one. And just, I mean, a very nice event. Stephanie put it on. It was inside, the speaking part was inside, and then they were going outside to the memorial garden and also for refreshments. And I didn't stay for the refreshments, but I stayed for the
it is
speaking
your
part.
impression that the folks who are in the new senior center are quite pleased with its new
Very,
renovation? Yeah.
very, I mean, very happy. Every single person that I see talks about how wonderful it is.
So that's great, because, some of us are getting old enough to go to the senior center sooner or later.
I haven't paid my dues.
You get how much?
Yeah. And it would probably look nice if all elected officials who are 55 and older were members. It's $5 a year. Best deal in town.
Yeah.
It's almost like cheaper than a Dunkin' Donuts coffee.
Let me now invite public comments. Tom, any comments?
Good, thank you.
John, any comments? John Flick? Pick up, John.
No, thank you. Everything's fine.
And
I followed it all. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay, motion to adjourn, somebody?
That's some of those.
Second.
We're adjourned. Thank you.